First of all, I'd like to congratulate you, Minister, and I think this is my first time speaking with you at the opposite side, and I wish you the very best and look forward to working with you on numerous issues. Today, I'm not armed with some briefing note drafted by civil servants, Minister, far removed from the realities of rural Ireland, but with the voice of the people I represent, people in places like Goleen, Adrigole, Drimoleague, who haven't seen a community guard in years. We're told this Policing Security and Community Safety Act is the most significant reform in 2 decades, but to be honest, I've seen what reform meant the last time, and I'm not buying the spin. Reform back then meant shutting 139 Garda stations between 2012 and 2013. Reform meant leaving 5 upgraded taxpayer-funded properties to be flogged off for peanuts. That wasn't reform. That was rural abandonment. That was the beginning of fear taking root in communities once proud of their safety and solidarity. It's worth noting that in the briefing note circulated by the Minister for Justice, it states that he said on March the 4th that he would ensure the vote can be approved by the House in time for the legislation to be commenced this month. Well, he missed that deadline, and on April Fool's Day too. I'm left to wonder, did the government prioritise looking after Mr Lowry and co over pressing ahead with urgent business? This new authority, this PCSA, the new Ombudsman's Office, are getting tens of millions in funding. That's fine if they deliver results, but let me ask, where is the guarantee that community Gardaí will be put back in the areas that lost them? Where is the commitment to opening even one rural Garda station, Minister? I don't see it. What I see is more management, more renaming, more lawyers, but not more boots on the ground. Let me remind the House, when you close a Garda station, you don't just shut a door, you shut down a sense of security. All the people in West Cork, people living alone, miles from the nearest town, are left wondering who will respond when trouble comes. Now they rely on a passing patrol or a text alert system we had to fight tooth and nail to establish. I've been Secretary of the Local Community Alert Group for years. I know the Skull Community Alert. I know the commitment. I know the cold nights spent out checking roads, helping neighbours, attending meetings, keeping an eye out. But these groups are struggling. They've been left without Garda support, without proper engagement and without a signal from government that their work matters. And let's not forget the mess we're in today, scrambling to approve these votes because the Justice Committee isn't even up and running. We're being asked to rubber stamp millions with no debate, no scrutiny. That's not how a republic should run its business. I'm not here to block progress. I'm here to fight for fair, balanced reform. Reform that sees a guard walk down the street in Ballydehob safely. Not just another press release in Dublin. Reform that restores community trust, not just reshuffles it. If this act is to mean anything, it must start where it was most broken, in rural Ireland, Minister. Not in new authorities, but in old values, presence, partnerships and protection. And talking about Garda stations, the close of Garda stations, we fought bitterly, Minister, against the closure of the Goleen Garda station, the Adrigole Garda station, the Ballinspittle Garda station. We won that battle, actually, in the Ballinspittle Garda station, I think the Ballincarriga Garda station. And unfortunately, we lost 3 of those Garda stations in West Cork at that time, and many more besides that outside of the constituency. And that left the people very, very vulnerable. And I found that talking to people or meeting people or attending the community alert meetings. And, you know, it was a huge loss to those local communities, Minister. And some of them Garda stations are still lying idle, and they should be given back, and the Garda should be appointed to that community. I've always advocated for the local Garda appointed to the local area. I see that down in Kilbrittain with John McCarthy, who's living locally. I see that in Ballydehob with Jonathan McCarthy. McCarthy's a good name when it comes to the Gardaí. And they're there, and they can nip but they can nick it in time before it gets out of hand, and they're a credit to their community. But the problem is they're out there nights on their own, summer and winter, because of the lack of Gardaí in West Cork. The numbers of Gardaí are falling. They're not being replaced. Drimoleague Garda station comes up quite often to me. People are asking, why isn't there a guard appointed to Drimoleague Garda station? The Garda station is there, but the guard isn't there. And we need to look at community alerts. And that's where I think policing was always at its best, when the local community alert knew of every move that was going on. They met in the local village once every 2 or 3 weeks. They got things sorted out locally, and that's saved lives and saved people. That saved people and made people happy at home. But that has to be looked into further.
Thank you, Deputy. And as there